Welcome back to the Pro Series Podcast, episode 188. Today's guest is Alena Capra. She is a reoccurring guest. You may remember her from back in 2023. She was on the podcast for episode 108. She is an interior designer based down in Florida. She is a TV show host for a show down in Florida called SoFlo Home Project. She's also the spokesperson for Covering Show, which is next week. We talk a lot about that. We also talk about NKBA and KBIS. We finally met at KBIS, so we talk about that as well. So if you're in the design industry, this is a perfect episode for you. But before we get into the episode, please like, subscribe, and review the Pro Series Podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts. And now I hope you enjoy episode 188 with Alena Capra. Alena Capra, thank you and welcome back to the Pro Series Podcast.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here with you and chatting again. It's been a while, but I look forward to picking up where we left off.
That's what I was going to look up before, like when you were on last and what number podcast it was. But it was probably like 2 years ago, right?
It wasn't this past summer. It was actually, I feel like it was the summer before. So,
okay.
And
that
of course,
sounds right.
Finally met in person at KBIS. So like that seemed just like around like just 2 months ago, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, time's flying by. Let's talk a little bit about that. You were Person of the Year for KBB magazine. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I was so excited. It's first of all, a true honor. Eric, I've been working in this industry for 22 years. And I specifically started out in the kitchen and bath side to kind of like get that honor was just really awesome, and I'm very grateful for it. It's been a really great couple of months, and it was so nice because even like coworkers I've worked with from when I worked at Expo Design Center in New York, and people I've worked with here when I worked at the Expo Design Center in Davie, Florida, before I started my own business. So many former coworkers reached out. They sent me pictures of the magazine. It was really awesome, and I've really been grateful, honestly.
Yeah. It's fun because I'd go into a customer's showroom and they have the magazine like on the coffee table, like in the waiting area. I'm like, I know her.
It was so funny because the text, it was like, sometimes it was, even if it was someone like we hadn't spoken in a long time, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, first of all, for just even saying, hello. And it was really a wonderful thing. And I honestly, like I said, I've been so grateful, and it's been a great couple of months.
Yeah, it was great to be able to hear your interview the last day of KBIS and kind of learn a little bit more, because I didn't know you were certified or any of that stuff. When did you go through that?
Yeah, so I mean, where I started, Eric, I literally started as just a bathroom designer. I didn't even do kitchens. And Expo Design Center at the time was a company, showrooms that were part of the Home Depot company, and they really invested in our education. They sent us to classes. We got a lot of great knowledge about NKBA, and that's what motivated me to get certified. I had a teacher in design school who was a certified designer, kitchen and bath at the time, both, before they were merged as one. And it was really cool because I knew ever since that point, like, they supported our certification. I wanted to be certified. And literally the moment I was eligible, I think it was in 2007, I took the CKD first and then the CBD. They only used to offer it twice a year. So yes, in 2007, I had both of those certifications. And in 2017, I got my CMKBD.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Certification is a great thing. It really is.
It is one of those things. We hosted an event here in Pittsburgh last year just to like get the ball rolling, because there's so many questions on it. There's so many people that want to do it, or they just don't know enough about it.
I think that's the best part, that you're doing that, especially locally within your chapter, because I think the knowledge, people understanding, the benefits, how to go about it, what types of training and educational things will you need, and to me, it has helped my career. When I say this, I'm being 100% honest, and like, I couldn't speak higher about it. If I didn't have those certifications when I was first starting out, I'm not sure of the opportunities I would have gotten. When I started my company, it was only a few years in, and I didn't know if I had enough like industry experience, but I had the certifications behind me to prove like, hey, I might have been doing this X amount of years, but I have passed the exams and I could design a safe and functional space for you. So it really, I feel like, helped me. And I think no matter where you're at in your career, it's a wonderful thing to add after your name.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And anybody listening in has no idea what we're talking about. It's basically like getting your master's degree in kitchen and bath design. That's probably the easiest way to say it. And so,
Really complex questions and a drawing portion of the exam. But like when you pass this exam, I feel like you really do have a great hold of, all of the safety guidelines as well as, the functional aspects of designing those spaces. So yeah, certification is a great thing. And for those who don't know about it, there's a lot of information on NKBA's website. I know that's very helpful.
oh, absolutely. My very first job, I was also in kitchen and bath, and the owner always said anybody could hang a bunch of cabinets on a wall, but it takes like a real designer to design a functional kitchen. And it's always stuck in my brain. And that's a lot of what you do to get certified, learning all about that stuff.
Absolutely. And you know what, those things that it sticks with you once you learn it. And like now all these years later, it still apply a lot of those basic principles. So
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about KBIS a little bit. Was there anything that really stuck out to you walking around the show? I know you probably didn't walk around the show until like the last day because you were busy.
that's right. No, I did a lot of walking in, just in different halls. So I mean, first of all, KBIS was amazing. I mean, wouldn't you agree
Was.
with a good
Oh,
show?
100%.
Every year, like it just gets bigger and better each year. And I look forward to it. It's like, it's really something, honestly, on the calendar. I'm like, I'm going to see industry friends. I'm going to connect with new friends in the industry. I'm going to get to hear a lot of cool panels and talks and attend great events and see new products. There's like, there's so much to cover, right?
Yeah.
And like from walking on the show floor, I mean, each day, the first day I got a chance to judge Best of KBIS. So to me, that was like, first of all, an incredible experience, having never done that before. It was very cool to be part of that, to see, the process. And then we got to kind of tour the show floor from a different lens, and a lens where it's like, these are the finalists. And now we have this very difficult job because it's hard, because there's so many good entries to whittle it down with a group of peers who are all very accomplished within the industry. So we had like an amazing group. And it is hard. It's very hard to pick a winner. But like that part, seeing the show floor from that lens was cool. And then on like the last day of the show, I kind of, took off on my own and went back to certain products I wanted to like hear more about, take more photos of. To me, it's like, I feel like there's so much great information. And a really important part of that is the post kind of show wrap ups and all of the articles and things that you see, because there might be that one thing that you missed. And then you're like, wow, I learned about something new. So a lot of
Oh,
good stuff.
yeah. There's so many recaps. I follow all the NKBA chapters, and they're posting these recaps. I'm like, wait, where was that? I wish I saw that.
Fun. I just did one last week, and with the Nebraska chapter, and it was really, really cool, because each person brings a different viewpoint of like, I love this, this, and this, and then there's that one thing that you might not have seen that now you're going to look into.
Yeah, I was mentioning, and I made a post about this. I saw so many clear bathtubs at the thing, and there are other people are like, wait, I didn't see any, and I'm like, that's like all I saw. I don't know why it was in my head, but that's all I saw, clear bathtubs.
And it's funny, it's like depending on where you like which hall you spend more time in and things like that. Like it's definitely, I think the recaps are just as important like right after the show, because you're widening and seeing like able to like fill in the gaps of like, I missed this, but now I learned about it. And so it's a
Hmm.
really nice way to kind of round out the experience.
Yeah, are you excited to be Orlando, more closer to home next year?
So I love Las Vegas. I'm going to just put it out there that I absolutely love. I love going to trade shows there too. But Orlando is really nice because I'm in South Florida. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and we have the Bright Line train now that runs. It's a fast train, 2.5 hours to Orlando. So it makes it really easy to get there very quickly. So
Oh,
that's going
that's
to be
cool.
nice. I think it's going to be a great show again. And I'm already booked my hotel. I'm ready. Like I wanted to get that on the calendar early.
Oh yeah, you almost had to. You almost had to do it like the week after. You're
Goes up
screwed.
fast, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I think the show just gets bigger and bigger every year, and I feel like each company puts more and more money into their booths every year.
Booths are just incredible, right? And I feel like, but it's like the whole experience too. To me, it's like seeing, all of the different vignettes within the booth. And then there's so many things. There's panels going on sometimes, like within the booths themselves. Sometimes certain companies will have things where maybe it's a designer who did the display or things like that. I love that every part of the experience is unique.
Yeah. I also liked how there's a lot more collaboration between companies. Like I was watching an Invisicook cooking session in Cosentino's booth. Like so many brands collaborating within booths. It was so cool to see.
I really think that's such an important part, right, of the industry is like, as designers, we are putting everything together anyhow. And it's not always from all of the same brand. We need each of these parts and pieces and companies to make one great kitchen, one great bathroom. So when you get to see how certain products, appliances, fixtures, features all work in conjunction together, I feel like it makes it that much stronger. It's really nice to see.
Yeah. It shows how strong the community is.
Yes, it definitely
Yeah.
does. There was a lot of great collabs. I also loved the um, Cosentino, James Martin, and Free Power collab for the
Oh,
vanities. What a great opportunity to be able to say, I want to try out this charging kind of technology, but I also want to have the top already, pick the color, pick the cabinet, and it's like this whole great thing where you don't have to even do that much, and it's a easy way to bring that to your client and a beautiful way at that too.
oh yeah.
Great
Yeah.
options.
That invisible technology with Invisicook and Free Power was everywhere in the show. I felt like every booth had it.
I feel like, we all want less cords around and like more counter space. So if we could this is like everything's going more towards this kind of cleaner aesthetic. It's really nice.
Yeah. And I know you said you started as bathroom designer. Do you gravitate more towards the bathroom booths?
So, okay, so it's a really interesting, that's a great question. So because I mean, I also design kitchens too, right? So I have to stay on top of appliance trends, and surfacing is in both areas. And like certain, you're looking at fixtures, you're going to have a kitchen faucet, a bath faucet, all of the things. For me, I definitely, so I kind of, I go back and forth. Appliances are very important. I feel like for me to be able to see, that's where you're seeing everything that's new and all in one place. So you're really seeing just about everything there. And that's what I love about KBIS. And then for fixtures too, I mean, whether it's kitchen or bath, I mean, I'm looking at both a lot because sometimes I'm looking at the kitchen faucet and then all of the bathroom, faucets and all of the different things that will go with that set for the shower systems and all of that. But like I guess sometimes I do think a little bit more about bathroom design because I just am really enjoying a lot of like the wellness features right now and all of that so much.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. So, um, when we after our ceremony for 30 under 30, we
Oh,
got off.
congrats, by the way. I don't want to cut you
Thank,
off, but I'm glad that you brought that up. I think
yeah,
that's
thank
amazing.
you.
Congratulations. What an incredible honor, huh?
Yeah, I was so honored. It was so cool to meet up with other people and the whole group of 30 under 30 where they were all over the place with their jobs. Like they weren't just designers, they were territory reps, all kinds of stuff. But we had to go off and vote on 30 under 30 awards.
Yes.
And my group had to do an outdoor segment. And we got this like cool, like we voted on a cold plunge, but it looked like a terracotta pot. It was
Wow.
the coolest thing in the world.
That's awesome. And also another one of those great ways to really see the show floor from a lens where you're focused on a topic. Kind of cool, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, it made you look because I don't do anything outdoor design related, so it was kind of cool to see it from that lens.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, I love the 30 under 30 program. I feel like you see so many people who have been part of it and just following their careers. It's just such an amazing, I think, just group. I mean, it's been years now, and you see like the alumni year after year. It just they pick the best of the best. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's a cool group to be a part of. And that's one thing I think NKB does an amazing job with is just the multiple different awards that they have, not just that amazing design awards they have on that Monday night.
Which is incredible too.
Oh, which is incredible. But like how they honor people and the video footage they have and everything is just it's like going to the Grammys for design.
I have to tell you, I was just blown away of the scale of the production of the design in industry awards. Like, first of all, it was just like this beautiful event, and all of your friends are there, all of the people you see, and then, it's just such a nice way to bring the industry together before such a big week coming up, right? And
Um,
honor, the Hall of Fame honorees, and then, I loved that they added Educator of the Year. Robin
Yes.
Riggs won that, and I've known her. She's awesome, and like I love that education is separately being honored, and then great design work, and then the student design competition. There's so many things, and I think it is important to recognize everyone in the industry as a whole for their work and contributions. It's just a wonderful thing, and I just love to see it in such a beautiful scale of the awards and the way they do it.
Oh, 100%. And you did an amazing job hosting portion
Thank
of
you.
that.
So much fun.
So, is this your first year doing that?
Yeah, no, I've never
Oh,
done that
okay.
before. I was very honored and excited. Richard Anaskevich is also a friend, so it was cool when they're like, "Would you two will be presenting the awards?" And we had fun time at the rehearsal, and just it was great to be able to do that with a friend and to honor so many great designers that now like I follow many of them and now see their work, and you meet people you haven't met before, and then your eyes are open to amazing talent in the industry. But also it was just like a chance. I got to see so many friends after the ceremony itself, and it was an awesome night. I had a great time. I can't wait to next year's awards to see how they raise the bar. It's
Yeah.
always great.
Yeah, this was my first year ever going, and I think I'll have to go every year
Yeah,
now.
I got to keep that on the calendar. I had last went 10 years ago. I had won a design award then, and it was a great production then. It was at the last one I went to was at Marquee Nightclub in the Cosmopolitan. They did it there. It was a really great event. They did it there for at least the 2 years I went, like 2015 and I think 16
Okay.
KBIS. And it was awesome. But like this, that's I think they said it was 1,200 people. It was a big, big group. Really,
It,
really nice.
massive, and it was a massive room to be in.
Yes.
So
Beautiful stage,
let's.
all the lighting, everything.
Oh, incredible! Let's talk about your SoFlo House Project show down there in Florida. And I mean, we talked a little bit last time you were on, but changes, anything new, like anything exciting? It's still going on.
Yeah. So I have been now, it'll be 5.5 years I've been hosting SoFlo Home Project. And so we are a local show in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. We are on the ABC affiliate here. And we are on Saturday mornings. So it's a weekly show. And as I mentioned earlier, we shoot every Wednesday. So today we recorded the show earlier in the day. And every single week we have different guests, different topics. And the best part about it is that like I feel like it's a great way. I said it when we did the KBB interview at KBIS. It was like I get to work with friends. Like as a designer, I have many friends in the industry who are also designers, but we don't work together on projects because we each have our own companies. So like I get to then showcase their work and like tour their projects and kind of like get inside the head of other designers and just talk about their inspiration and what they did and design challenges. And I think it's cool. I feel like in our industry, everyone's doing different things, and it's nice to like spotlight that. We all work so hard on the projects themselves. Some could be a year-long build, 2 years, right? Let's celebrate it. Let's talk about it and showcase it. And I think it's a nice showpiece for their clients as well as for them and their firm. But we also do these design tip shows, which is another fun part because like we also get to spotlight a lot of great brands. Like we will go to different showrooms and spotlight cool surfacing trends or stone trends or what's new with wall coverings or plumbing fixtures. And so it's not just about design as a whole and touring a beautiful home. Because we're on every week, we get to pick different types of content. So it makes it fun.
Yeah, it's a lot more. I've seen some of your clips and everything on social media, and it seems like it's a lot more. I don't know how to explain it. Like when I watch it on TV, like home renovation shows, it seems a lot more catered to just the mass audience. I feel like yours is more catered to the creative mind and the people that like really care about what went into the project itself.
No, I love that. We really want to keep it inspirational and even aspirational, right? Because our viewership is all across the board, right? Some are in the industry and some are not, but they want to know more about design. So those who are interested will watch, and we love our viewers. And to me, I think that's what's cool is that we get to constantly reinvent ourselves, and each week is something different. Like earlier this year, we had a chance to go to two beautiful resorts in Mexico and meet with the architects and the builders, the architect, actually designer, and the owners of those two resorts. And like we got to really see it from such a different standpoint and like really pull out cool things. Like you could stay at a hotel and sometimes not know where all the materials came from. You may recognize a certain brand here or there, but you might not have known that the stone that's on all the flooring was locally sourced from that region. And like all these great stories behind a lot of the things you see. So I like sharing those stories too. And I think that connects people with stuff. I think in design, there's always stories to be told about every piece in a home. And I think I like kind of digging deeper. I've worked on makeover shows in the past too, and I also enjoy that. It's a different fun way to showcase design and do a big reveal, and that's a lot of fun as well. But what we get to do now, I like a lot because we're digging deep and just constantly coming up with different things. Sometimes we even tour historic places in South Florida, which is another, like, that's where it all begins, right? Like a lot of great design details and stuff might come from stuff from the eras that we're showing those houses were built, right? And kind of seeing how that influenced design. And it's an interesting way to look at it. We want to always bring a little South Florida flavor, but also general design fun and knowledge. So.
That's so cool. Do you find yourself benefiting a lot from your design business by doing this show, like being able to see more products?
So I think it's a great thing to me. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to host the show. I have an amazing crew that we work with. I learn from everyone I work with too. So like on the flip side,
I bet.
the benefit to me is we have such an amazing crew who have been working in television and various different aspects of that industry for many years. So when you work around industry professionals in a certain part of that industry, you're learning from them, learning just different things, whether it's the delivery of a line or how to stand properly so you're, open to the camera and the audience in the right way. And there's just so many little things that I learn from everyone I work with. So that part, I'm grateful for that part of the knowledge. And also as a business owner, it's great to have this connection to my local community. There are people who call me who watch the show. I've done a lot of design consults with, viewers over the years. And it's awesome because like I love the biggest compliment to me is when someone will come up to me, it might be at Publix or like in the airport, and they'll say like, oh, we loved this one episode. And when they specifically share details of it, it makes me so happy because I feel like what we put out there resonated with them. And that's sort of like, it's my favorite kind of email to get or statement, just be like, hey, I loved that tour and, with this particular home. And, they tell me how they were inspired by it and maybe what they did in their own home because of it. So that part is very rewarding. And I feel like it's part of why I love doing what I do.
Yeah. Human connection is the best part about our job. Being able to connect with them and be able to find a connection with them. And sometimes it's like the weirdest thing that you never think anybody would be connected with, but you're like, wow, they were listening and they understood.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's what it's all about, digging a little deeper and pulling out those cool stories.
Yeah. Well, as we were recording this, it's a couple weeks before, but Coverings is coming up. And this will be coming out the week before Coverings. Tell me a little bit about that and your role within Coverings.
Yeah, so Coverings is coming up in Orlando as well, April 29th through May 2nd. So it's just, I have been working with them as an industry ambassador, spokesperson role for the last 10, this is year 11. And I love the show. It's another great way to see everything about tile and stone. And it's products, there's live demos, you could also even see all the machinery and stuff. So there's like every part of that industry is there. You have distributors, you have installers, you have designers, architects, you have the manufacturers. So it's a big show. It's a global show. You're seeing tile and stone from around the world. And I think that's the coolest part. I love that. You kind of see this whole, you're seeing it from every different area and just the beauty of just different designs of the tile and the innovations to me for all the years that have gone to see the technology, like completely we have these large format porcelain panels and slabs that look just absolutely incredible. Some even have like textures and so lifelike. So like that kind of stuff, so important to see that at a trade show too, by the way, because it's so large that you really can take it all in that scale and see the beautiful booth installations. We talk about KBIS has beautiful booths, Coverings has beautiful booths. I mean, these beautiful tile and stone installations by the ultimate best of the best of installers. Like it just always looks great. And I think for designers or architects or anyone in the relevant industries, it's a great show to attend. I mean, even if you could just get there for one day and just take it all in, there's tours, there's all sorts of cool educational sessions. It's really an inspiring show. And I think a great way to see everything that's going on in that industry.
I need to make it there one year.
It's great. Honestly, you will leave so inspired, and it's seeing it all under one roof. It's a great way to really just take in everything in the world of tile and stone.
Yeah, and I like how you said I love how you said the evolution of it, because anybody like outside our industry thinking like tile and countertops have changed, and they probably think, oh, they probably haven't, but they have so much.
Yes.
Like,
I mean,
even quartz, like look at that.
Everything. I mean, I'm dating myself, but like when I started in design, we used 12 by 12 tile, and that was larger. 18 by 18 was considered like the larger format, and 12 by 12 was almost like the norm. Most of our bathrooms had 12 by 12. And so I'm going early 2000s, 2003, 4, 5. Then when it went to 12 by 24 inch tile, and then we had 24 inch by 20, like, so I've seen like the sizes. Now we got like 60 by 60 inch tile and these huge, 60 by 120 type of slabs. Thinner material and stuff. It's so cool to see, how it's changed. You have this rectified porcelain where everything is a real tight grout joint, but like earlier on, it wasn't, and we had larger grout joints. And just the innovation and the digital printing, all of this. I mean, it's mind blowing. Even from like 10 years ago till now, you just see this amazing progression of just beauty on tile. So I love it.
Oh, I love it too. With countertops, do you see anything new coming? I asked this, I forget who I asked this to, but quartz being, as you know, it's banned in Australia because of the content of it and being recycled and stuff. Do you feel like that would ever happen here in the States?
I do not know. I feel like you see a lot of initiatives with companies making these sort of silica free or like all of these products. So I think I can't speak for that part of the industry because I don't work specifically in that, but I do feel like in terms of product, I think it's always top of mind. It seems like with brands to keep on making things that are for the benefit of everyone utilizing it. So
yeah,
I hope we never have to
go through that, because that'd be so hard, because there's so many of our beloved brands that are like that. But yeah, like you said, like even Cosentino, they're putting so much money into the recipe of what they do for quartz to make it so much better for the earth, and
that's exciting. That's the part I love to see. They're all like really doing great things.
Yeah. And with porcelain, like how real it looks nowadays, like more than like a regular marble, it looks identical.
There's so much. And like, what the coolest thing? So as a designer, I love that I could use all of those products, sometimes all in the same, space. And so I love that there is so much variety, from the natural stone to the porcelain slab to the engineered quartz. Like you really have an opportunity. I pair them frequently together. I love mixing and matching different types of materials based on client expectations, based on how they use their space, based on color and look too. So like we have so much at our fingertips in terms of the innovation and just the overall aesthetics of what's being offered in surfacing as a whole. It's awesome. It's
incredible.
The best it's ever been. I mean, I feel like there's so much to work with, and that part is exciting.
Yeah, it's incredible. When it comes to design trends and like what's new and popular, is Florida kind of like ahead of the game? I feel like Miami especially definitely is. But like everything always takes like 10 years to get to us in Pittsburgh.
So I feel like in South Florida, we are we're kind of like a little bit of a melting pot, and we do have a lot of influence from New York. I mean, I'm a native New Yorker. I do feel like a lot of the clients I work with are also New Yorkers. I think we get a lot of so they're bringing certain things that they see there here. I think we get a mixture of a lot of Latin American influence as well. There's a lot of stuff from the Caribbean. I feel like we've got like a nice mix, and I do feel like Miami has really become I feel like we're becoming a nice design little epicenter of our own, and it's
Yeah.
exciting. I feel like it's exciting to see. I think we have a lot of showrooms here, our design centers and all the air. Like it's exciting to see. I very much I'm proud to be working in this market because I think we have a lot to work with, a lot to choose from, and I think we see more and more exciting things popping up. So and a lot of development. So I think it goes hand in hand.
Okay. And I'm glad you said that because I always felt like Miami and New York kind of lead the way when it comes to design in the US. I mean,
It's
LA too, but
Yeah, I think we got West Coast, and then you probably also have like Midwest, maybe like Chicago as well, and
it's
maybe
true.
then I'm also thinking perhaps like in Texas, like Dallas, like that market. We like regionally, I feel like styles are a little different, which is again the coolest part of design, and
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing is seeing. I've worked in other states before, and I love kind of like seeing how regionally design feels a little different, but not specifically always, because every designer and homeowner kind of does their own thing of what their preference is and their design style and taste. But I like seeing the differences of that. But South Florida definitely. The interesting thing, so like I work with a lot of clients, their second home might be in New York, right?
Hmm.
They're home in New York. We always have these conversations. It's always very different style wise, whether they're in Manhattan in an apartment or a condo, or they're in Long Island, perhaps in a single family home. But if they purchase in South Florida, their home in South Florida, they want it to have a different feel. It's sometimes the tonalities are lighter and brighter. Sometimes the materials we're choosing are a little different. So, like, we're not doing the same style and look in both places, but like there might be some crossover of certain things. It just might be colors that change and stuff. So it's cool. It's really cool to really look at in different types of projects and see the difference.
Oh, I
I love
love
it.
that. When you travel and to new areas and stuff, are you always looking around? I always feel like I'm looking around, looking up, looking down, and people are like, "What are you doing?"
It's because we're in this industry. It's never going to go away, which is, I think that's how we keep learning, right? So I have never not been somewhere where like specifically hotels. I feel like my first thing, I'm like, I like to kind of figure out the brand of the wall covering. I like to figure out, the fixtures, the stuff that's not like overtly marked with a branding label. You're like, oh, it's like a little game. Or like you go to a restaurant and that restroom is beautifully decked out. I like to try to figure out the fixtures or where it all came from. I think that's fun. It's a fun game to play where you kind of look around and like, oh, who made that? And then identifying it. And then you feel like you know your stuff.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite thing to do in Vegas because you have so many hotels and resorts
Yes.
in walking distance. Just walk through them.
I wish they would do like a design focused tour through the casinos, like different, like some of the cool ones, and bring us through. I love learning from the people who design this, or at least even giving us facts and things. Like I think that'd be kind of a fun thing.
That would be really cool.
Put this together, like a design
Yeah.
tour, just sharing like details and things and materials and why the decisions were made. There's so much to see there.
Oh yeah, that would be cool to do it like on the
Restaurant.
last day, like Friday or like when the show's over.
Yes, that and sports stadiums. I also like touring new stadiums. I think that's so much is going into the materials, the selections, the club levels, the suites. And that's actually really cool. I got a chance to do that in Atlanta some years ago. And when that new stadium opened, and it was really cool. It was a design event. And we got to see all of the suites and everything that they used, and from a design standpoint it's very inspiring and cool to see that. I am a big sports fan, so I also love stadiums for that reason. So it's cool to see what's being done in the new ones. They're really raising the bar.
Oh yeah, I would love. That's the one thing people always do, like those traveling to all the MLB stadiums. I think that's on their bucket list.
Yes,
I want to do the same thing to see the game, but I also want to see it because of the stadiums
I
too.
think that's cool. When I go to other cities, I do try to sometimes, even if it's for work travel, like I was in Indianapolis like 2 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to go to a Pacers game. I'm staying right across the street from the arena. I've got to get a ticket. Like I was alone. I went. It was so much fun. I've never attended a game alone. And sometimes you can do it if you're in another city. It was actually really cool to see. And I bought a souvenir cup. So like, I think it's nice to do that. I do that sometimes with some friends from college. We do that with we were all alumni of UM. We go to Canes games sometimes every once in a while at a different stadium. So I've seen Clemson. I've went to UNC Chapel Hill. We went to Maryland. So it's fun to do that. A little stadium tour with a little design focus, though. That makes it fun.
Absolutely. Well, next time you're in Pittsburgh, you should go to PNC Park where the Pirates play.
I would love to see it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Awesome. Well, Alena, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come back on to the podcast. Always great having you back on.
Yes, this was so much fun. Great chatting with you always. Congrats again on 30 Under 30.
Thank you.
I look forward to chatting again soon.
Yeah, let's finish on where people could follow you and, reach out.
Awesome. Okay, so my personal Instagram is at Alena Capra Design, and my website is AlenaCapraDesigns with an S.com. So that's it. Easy to find and follow. So
Awesome.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.